Welcome inside another edition of the WPIAL Insiders Show, all presented to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates. And we need to remind you that you or a loved one have been injured in an accident at Edgar Snyder and Associates. There's never a fee unless they get money for you. Call 1-800-94-EDGAR today for a free consultation. That's 1-800-94-EDGAR. Back inside the Blast Off Cleaning Equipment Studios, freshly furnished by our friends at Home Team Collections. And we have the usual suspects from the Pittsburgh Union Progress, Mr. Brad Everett, also known as
Adam Sandler.
an Adam Sandler lookalike.
And
you knew where I was going.
Yeah, he's coming to Pittsburgh later this month.
Yeah, he
Watch
is. He's
out.
going to go bother me at work. We might play hoops again.
If only somebody has a hookup on tickets for you.
I wish.
Ticketmaster.com. Could be a sponsor, might not be.
We'll never know.
And now in his first show appearance with his new NIL from Champions Bar and Grill on 51, Carlo Zovko.
New NIL deal, well-fed, unbelievable spot, Champion Sports Bar Grill.
Best cheeseburgers in town.
Woof.
And I already know where this show's going.
And the birthday boy, Matt Fargo.
Yes.
Thanks.
Happy birthday.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than the alternative is what they're telling me now. So
Yes.
happy to have everyone along. Hard to believe, and I think we say it every year, but it is still hard to believe that we are now a quarter of the way through the regular season.
I don't like it at all.
It flies. It takes forever to get here, and then it just flies. And I'm sure for these athletes, it kind of has that same feeling to it, doesn't it?
It would have to, especially those seniors. I mean, you're running out of games all of a sudden. You're running out of Fridays. We had Dino Tomlin on KDKA radio, and, he was talking about the Shady Side deal. He said, Sky Moore and I, we had scholarships to go to the next level. But a couple of my buddies, every single Friday, like, hey, we're running out of Fridays. We're running out of Fridays. And that's what it is for 95% of the seniors here playing. So enjoy your final couple Fridays. The good news is you still have 6 left, at guaranteed 6. And then everything else is earned.
And very quickly, we now have football weather. I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. Quickly.
Outside, we got the crisp fall, autumn, cool air out there and everything. So, definitely be wearing jeans and hoodies on the sidelines here coming up soon.
Yeah, where you are.
Yeah,
Great,
I didn't know that we were in
Somewhat.
uniform today, gentlemen.
Well, that's what you sent in the email that was mandatory this week for
that
whatever reason.
wasn't me. That was a handsome producer.
And then we show up and he doesn't even have it on. So,
Yeah, right.
it's
Ironic.
just, this guy.
He's always been an against the grain kind of guy.
That's right. That's right.
Just ask some people.
Ask Norwin.
Ask the WPIAL.
Them too. Them too.
Oh boy. Some takeaways from last week. I was going to say before we jump into that, on the note that you were just talking about Fridays and not having many of them left. Colin Jonoff, who does the Steelers High School Showcase with us. He's the pregame and halftime analyst with Susie Cool. And here's a guy who played at Bucknell, played at Pitt, ends up going to the NFL, getting a couple camp looks. And he just looked at me and he goes, there's nothing like Friday nights.
No, there's really not.
I miss this more than anything.
Yep.
So
that seems
enjoy
to be
them.
a frequent theme. Like when I catch the KDKA, the Steeler Showcase game on Fridays, when you bring the Steeler on there, that seems to be a common theme where they're kind of in awe of just the whole Friday night feeling, and it brings them back to those days when they were starring there on Friday nights.
Some are impressed with the crowds and coming from small towns, or some are simply just impressed with all the trees and mountains. It really depends on who you ask.
Wait until the leaves start changing colors.
Right. But now we can jump into the some takeaways from last week. We all saw interesting games.
We really did.
Yes.
We did. We all saw interesting games. We'll lead with Aliquippa goes down at the Pit. Who saw it coming? One of us on this panel did.
Which one was that?
I think it was the one that had an unsurmountable deficit in the pick segment there.
He's still way down in the picks, I think.
One
By one game. Whew.
By one game. Yep.
So
correct.
I was at the Pit for the Avonworth Aliquippa game, and let me tell you, gentlemen, my takeaway: Avonworth not backing down to these quips at all. Normally, when teams get into the pit, the score's already 20-0.
Yeah.
You know, you're already trying to come back just from being at the pit. It's just an intimidating factor to other teams. Avonworth not only matched Aliquippa's physicality, exceeded it, and that's not a knock on Aliquippa because they were hitting hard. They were bringing it as well. Avonworth just turned it up a couple notches. Obviously, Luca Neal, unbelievable game. Dimitri Verasolis, unbelievable game. But I want to give a major shout out to Avonworth quarterback Carson Bellinger. There were, you know, I'm a former quarterback at heart, really about 100 pounds ago, former quarterback. You know, I'm not a guy that is looking for roughing the passer penalties because I always thought that's part of the game. You know, you're going to get hit. You want to stand and deliver a throw, whatever. Roughing the passer, not a big fan of. There were some borderline, wow, the refs didn't call that one. And the Quips were trying to get after Carson. He kept getting up every single time and delivering strikes through all 4 quarters. So major shout out to Carson Bellinger. Very impressive.
Was it close at all? Like, how did this game play out? I was busy.
Avonworth kind of jumped out to a lead. Aliquippa made it, made it interesting, but it was the bend don't break for Avonworth. Every time Aliquippa would get near the goal line, there was a major interception or some sort of turnover on downs. I mean, it really was bend don't break, and Avonworth was in control. I would never say that it was a dominating performance. Like, they were never like, wow, blew Aliquippa's doors off, but they were in control the entire game.
Gives Duke John Core some respect.
Yeah.
What did the guy they need to do?
Well, he will be getting some respect later in the show. Glad you bring that up.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
You know, they say each season is its own and each matchup from year to year is different, but I wonder if last year's matchup helped Avonworth this year.
Had to.
I was at that game last year, and
have.
Avonworth was up on them into the 3rd quarter in that game before Aliquippa rallied late. But I think for 2 or 3 quarters in that game, I think they learned that they could play and they can match that physicality.
100%. I'll tell you another one. J.J. Work being injured for Aliquippa, the running back, that hurts big time. And Aliquippa not having that game-breaking running back, and Marcus Council, trust me, that kid can make all the throws. He's going to Yale, I believe.
Yep.
Very good get for Yale. Very talented arm. And he was tucking in and running as well, so he's a threat on the ground. But I mean, Aliquippa not having that game-breaking running back like the Tyke Hayes of the world, and you can go on and on the Drayvon Henrys, whoever it may have been for all those years. Not having that right now, you could tell.
The next one in the stable ended up transferring out.
Leaving,
That's
yeah,
right.
That's right.
Yeah,
they
they
would
lost to Near Brooks,
Brooks.
and also I think Bruiser Wade, the running back of Hopewell, I think he was at Aliquippa previously too.
wow.
So that would be another guy.
Yeah.
Brad, how did your game play out?
It was a wild one. TJ over McKeesport. I went over to the Port. TJ wins 16-7, but they had to rally, and they had to rally late in the final minute. McKeesport was the better team, and Coach Bill Chirpak, TJ Coach Bill Chirpak, he had admitted as much after the game. It is rare to see a TJ team being out physical, but that's what happened against McKeesport. McKeesport really got them on the lines. I thought they were the more physical team. Great job they did against Tyler Eber, who has just been a workhorse running back for TJ these last couple seasons.
How many carries did he have?
He finished this game. He finished 37 yards on 19 carries. So,
Oh, wow.
So he
Way
averaged,
down.
he averaged less than 2 yards a carry.
I would have thought he had 37 carries.
After running wild against them like last season
Yeah.
both times, but it was a different story this time. Of course, one of the big things in this game was Keemon Spell, the star running back from McKeesport. He goes down on the third. He goes down after the 3rd play of the game. He broke off like a 14-yard run on the first play of the game. Carries on the 2nd play. Carries on the 3rd play. And then limps to the sidelines, and that's the rest. That's all we saw of him for the game. Goes to the sidelines. I was down there, and it was pretty much, him trying to like loosen up, walk that injury off. It's an ankle injury, and of course, he sat out the previous week against Peters
Right.
Township. Tried to give it a go, and it just didn't work out. And by the second half of this game against TJ, he was sitting on the medical table, ankle all iced up. He had crutches, and it didn't look good. And I talked to him afterwards, and we'll see what his status is, but. I mean, as far as TJ goes, they're down, and they're down 7-3, and they got outplayed most of the game, but they kept hanging around, and then all of a sudden they get the ball at the 50 late in the game.
Bill Chirpak is amazing.
Bill Chirpak,
Yep.
and they drive down. They get They get a nice pass play. They get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against McKeesport, help them out. They complete a 4th down. Then at the 1 yard line, sophomore quarterback Harrison Coling, a sneak into the end zone, 1 yard touchdown run, puts TJ ahead. And then just seconds later, they get a pick 6 with a few seconds left in the game. So it ends up 16-7. Kind of a wild finish there. 2 touchdowns in the final minute after having not scored any the entire game up to that point. So that was wild. But it was an emotional win that capped an emotional week. As some of you may know out there, former TJ star quarterback Brad Dawson had died tragically on Monday. And he was very close with the TJ program, talked to Bill Chirpak for a good while before the game. And, he was just kind of telling me a lot about Brad and just what he meant to him. And of course, Brad's brother, Brian Dawson, is the quarterback's coach, and he still coached the game. He still coached the game.
Wow.
Brad was buried Saturday. So on Friday night, Brian Dawson is out there coaching the game. And I'll tell you what, that meant a lot to the TJ kids that he still went out there.
That's good.
Talked to Harrison Coling, sophomore quarterback. Props to him, by the way. He's a promising player. They're kind of still using 2 quarterbacks over there at TJ like they have a little bit in recent years. And I think Bill Chirpak's kind of hoping that Coling kind of seizes the job eventually. And I think he did a good job of going in that direction last week by scoring that touchdown. He did a pretty good job against a good defense, and props to him too. I talked to him after the game, talked to him a little bit about what Brian Dawson means to him and about how emotional of a week he was. And he stood up there, he's probably a 15, 16-year-old kid, and he handled these questions like a super mature adult out there, and he was great. He had some good stuff. So big win for the Jaguars. I'd be interested to see if those 2 teams play again later in the playoffs, because I'll tell you what, if Keemon Spell played that whole game Friday, I think McKeesport wins by a few touchdowns.
Wow.
So I think it would have made that much of a difference. So, but it's only week 3 or 4. These teams will, should improve as the year goes on, and we'll see if they meet again probably in November.
All good stuff. And interesting about the 2 quarterbacks style there for TJ. Yeah. The old saying about if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have
none.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We'll be continued on that.
TBD. Matt, what about your game? That was pretty boring. Didn't really come down to anything, huh?
No, what in the it's just the classic. It really is a theme of this past week, maybe even last 2, of like, boy, we don't know anything. And it is, at the end of the day, 15, 16-year-old kids.
Yep.
And sometimes the games find you.
And sometimes the games like this one are just made for television.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable.
2-0 Mars comes. Eric Kasparovitz comes back to North Hills. First time in 10 years he coached at Martirelli Stadium. Of course, a part of that 93 state championship team, which, by the way, go on YouTube and watch the ending of that game. It is absolutely bananas. Down 7 points, 30 seconds left. They hit LeVar Arrington for a big play. They get down to the 6-yard line. Then there's a holding call. Casper throws 2 incomplete passes. It's now fourth and goal from the 28-yard line. And he throws a touchdown pass on 4th down in the state championship game.
Unbelievable.
Amazing.
And now it's still 14-13. There's like seconds left to go. And of course, Jack McCurry goes for 2. And Casper goes in on a quarterback sneak to win the state championship game. But
amazing.
My jaw was on the floor doing research for the game. So sidebar on that one. This game, present day, North Hills starts off 0-2. Keeping in mind, North Hills lost 2 games all last regular season. And Brody Zangara takes over, interim coach. Also happy to report Pat Carey was there. He was in the coach's box.
Good.
He's being around the program. He just needs to keep the stress level down. And being a head coach in high school football, I think we can all agree, not
super not super laid back.
No, not at all.
But really good to see that Pat was there. And unfortunately, this game wasn't easy on the heart either for the North Hills Indians, as they play. I mean, they were the better team. To steal the words, Brad, they played 3.5 quarters better than Mars did. And it was almost perplexing as I was watching it happen. You're just watching this game and you're like, North Hills came to play. It was their first game at home all season. They had been on the road the first 2 weeks and did a really nice job. Kelly McCarthy does a nice job at quarterback there. they got some young guys that are just stepping up and starting to fill roles, and you could feel the confidence was starting to build. But towards the end of the game, Mars started filling it out. A Gabe Hine, just a routine screen pass. He ends up breaking it loose. Gets into the end zone, gives Mars a 3-point lead. It was 13-10. Now, what's North Hills going to do with it? They're going to go down the field and drive down the field with seconds left to go. It's a 4th down. They could have gotten a first down. It wasn't 4th and goal, but it was about the 6-yard line. They needed like 2 or 3 yards to get a first, but the clock was running.
Time's winding down, and you can't spike the ball, right?
You can't.
That was the problem,
because it's 4th down. It's 4th down. So I guess the thought could have been just try to get the first down, then try to spike it, but they kind of treated it like it was a 4th and goal play. McCarthy scrambles around for a while, so much so I think he snapped it with 10 or 11 seconds on the clock winding, and by the time he threw it into the end zone, there was no time left on the clock. It's caught in the back of the end zone. Joey Lutz catches the ball, who's a superstar athlete, was really impressed with what I saw from him. Just his hands, his defensive prowess. He was also punting for the Indians. He was
Jack of all trades.
And master of all.
Yeah.
And throw into the end zone. We thought we had a walk-off touchdown, what's better in football than a walk-off touchdown. But there's a flag down, a legal man downfield. There were 2 offensive linemen grazing like cattle.
They were way down there.
They were at the goal line. I actually went back and watched it earlier today.
Like cattle.
Because they weren't blocking anybody.
They were way down there.
It's not like you were engaged.
Yeah.
You were just kind of like, well, this play's kind of taking a long time.
This is a pretty cool stadium.
Right. And that just such an unfortunate penalty. Of course, Mars accepts the penalty, and people are getting all riled up about, well, it's an offensive penalty. Why did they even get a play? Well, because normally that play is declined,
right?
Because the play doesn't end in a touchdown, which it did. So Mars had to accept the penalty, which grants them another play. Which then Brody Zangaro said, "You know what? Shoot, we're going to go out and kick this field goal and go to overtime with these guys." And unfortunately, sophomore kicker couldn't make it. And he had a 43, 44, mid-40s.
He had him
earlier in the game.
Kick.
Yeah,
that
so
was really good.
So he was capable of it, but just didn't go. And Mars survives and wins it 13-10 in an absolute thriller of a game.
That's how it goes sometimes in high school.
There was a few other games that were decided by last-second field goals too. I think there was one was like 40-some yards. Someone hit.
Hey! That might be coming up later in the show, my friend.
There was a 1-point game. Penn Trafford being mooned.
That one was bonkers. Yeah. Penn Trafford went 95 yards in less than a minute.
Fox Chapel won over Knock, and Harrison Zuricott, Haran Zuricott, the star kicker from Fox Chapel, game-winning field goal. They had blocked it, and it still went through. And they blocked it, still went through. So,
wow.
So that kid has that strong of a leg. You know what? You block it, it doesn't matter. It's still going.
That could get a Whippy award.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
The not so fast, or you thought you did. Thought you blocked an award. I don't know. Last thing for you here in headlines. The Clarendon flu has been going around. It has not been found in Western Pennsylvania in some time now, but medical professionals are saying that it is back in Western PA.
Worse than COVID, I hear. I mean, it will knock out an entire team, I guess.
Obviously, we're talking about Shadyside Academy's decision to forfeit their game against Clarendon last week. It was really top of the fold news much of the week, and you've seen this before, and I think it's almost an impossible argument to have, because one side of it is always going to be on player safety, and you can't, and that's always going to be that side.
That's fine. You can't hide behind player safety,
and that's the other side of the argument, because I think more times you see this, it is in lower classifications,
right?
And for Shadyside being 2.
Yeah, they're
and
2.
Clarendon being 1. And I think the other obvious part is not often are they undefeated.
I mean, they were 2-0.
Two really good wins.
I mean, not only they're 2-0, but they're one class higher than Clarendon.
Yeah. So where do we go? Where do we go with this? Carlo, I know, clearly I know your thoughts.
I mean, I've just been salivating for this topic. I mean, this is cowardly. You know, you hide behind player safety. And here's my problem. If it would have been the same story the entire week, I have no problem with it. Good. But the fact that they didn't have the same story the entire week, they kept tweaking the story to make it look worse and exaggerating what was going on. No, you're just ducking smoke. We had Dino Tomlin on KDKA radio to kind of rant about it. He called it un-American. I said, you're dead on there. Dead on there, Dino. But you know, at first they say, oh, we only have 27 players. Well, Clarendon sends out, we have 25 players. We're still playing. Clarendon went on as much. Did you see the Clarendon Bears football Facebook post?
I don't know if I saw it.
I thoroughly have always enjoyed that page.
They nuked Shady Side Academy, and for good reason. Number one, this is a Clarendon home game, okay? So that's major for Clarendon's economy. Number one, in a town like Clarendon especially, getting everybody together on a Friday night is special. It's sacred.
It's Clarendon.
It's Clarendon, you know. Yeah. So
right.
you know,
and it's something you're only doing 5 or 6 times a season.
Yeah, it affects their finances for their football program. Yeah. So for Shady Side Academy to duck smoke, you know, first it was, oh well, we only have 40 players. Almost half of our rosters are injured. Okay, well Thursday more than half of the roster was injured. By Friday, they said only 9 available players or
they were just falling during the week.
I mean, what kind of practice motives are they doing here? Are they just doing inside run the entire time?
But Carlo, that's kind of how the flu works, right? It spreads. It spreads from person to person.
I mean, it was just so cowardly. I don't know how, if you're a player, like no player spoke out against the administration and coaching staff and all that. I don't understand it. So, yeah, Shady Side Academy, I'm way down on Shady Side right now.
What you kind of pointed out, which I thought was helpful, was the screenshot of the game before.
Oh, they're beating Borough by 30 points. You know, they put up 18 points in the second half.
There were 20-some players.
Seemed all healthy. There were 29 players suited up, ready to go into the game. And that was only in the screenshot. There were a couple quarterbacks throwing the ball. I'm sure they were throwing to active players. Yeah, it was total farce. Anybody with half of a brain can see that. And if you want to hide behind player safety, Shady Side Academy, get ahead and do it, because we have brains here on the WPIAL Inside Show. Clarendon has brains. Clarendon knew what it was. Yeah. And for them to wait until Wednesday, that was the key, because Clarendon couldn't get another game then.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, from what I hear about the WPIAL, they are very
not happy,
very angry. And, you know, what's stopping other schools that know that they're going to get rolled by Clarendon from doing the same thing? Do you just want to hide behind player safety? That's not, you know, those Clarendon kids, they're running out of Fridays too. Yeah. You know, and to a community like Clarendon, a lot of those kids
means more.
It means that much more. Yeah. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. Ticks me off so much. I mean, Dino Tomlin put it perfectly. Un-American, and I agree.
I do. I just don't want it to get to the point of, I do think that the story here, the storyline, a little shaky. It's a little shaky. As Carlo mentioned,
nothing added up. And they forfeited first. Then the WPIAL got involved. They said, oh, well, we only want to postpone now. Well, was it forfeit or postpone?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of fractures, a lot of broken bones. I don't think those heal in a week.
Yeah, I really tried to play devil's advocate with it and was like, okay, like, let me try to see this from Shady Side.
Sure.
And we talk about player safety is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Especially for these schools. You know, they don't want to get sued. They don't want anything bad to happen.
No doubt.
So I totally get that. And, you know, that happens though. And it's just, you know, it's just the optics of it. You know, the optics look so bad. And you talked about that screenshot on the sideline. You see all those players.
Yeah, having a grand old time.
In the court of public opinion, and you know, they're not going to win anyone over in the court of public opinion, because it's like, oh, how convenient. You just have to be playing Clarendon this week.
Right.
And
wow, it's like, yeah, that was good timing.
And I mean, like, one of the things that kind of makes it unfair a little bit is that pretty much any team that plays Clarendon, you're going to be banged up the next week.
Correct.
And now they don't have to worry about that.
Right.
And these other teams they're playing, they got guys out because they play Clarendon.
My phone was blowing up from the two-way coaches in Shady Side's conference because, hey, we're at conference play right now. They're like, they just get a bye week right before conference play? Like, is the WPIAL going to allow this? I mean, they were furious. And I bet you those other two-way coaches in that conference called the WPIAL up and said, hey, you better drop a hammer on these guys because they were furious.
It was interesting to see how many tweets came out from other coaches, other programs.
That were nobody
saying,
believes
be like, listen, like we played with 18 guys last year. We played with like 12 guys last year, so.
Yeah, Sarah Catholic spoke out about it.
They had 14. And I went back to fact check that as well just to see what they were doing. Let me tell you, the 14 Sarah Catholic played with, these guys weren't really going to play Division I football, but guess what? Credit and all respect to them. They buckled their chin strap and they went the entire game. It wasn't forfeiting it. And remember last year, Shadyside forfeited at halftime, if you guys remember correctly. Due to inclement weather.
50-something to nothing.
50-0 at half. Then they said, oh, weather's coming in. It didn't rain for another 2 hours, mind you. It was... Yeah, so, they were supposed to play.
Never seen him so fired up.
No, because this opens up...
Fired up.
If the WPIAL doesn't drop a hammer, this opens up the door for so many more teams just to hide behind player safety. Player safety is very important. That's what pisses me off so much about it, because if you just claim player safety, that dilutes what player safety actually is.
So when a team that actually is struggling with numbers has to claim it,
right?
And then people are like,
then you raise an eyebrow.
Yeah. I think if you have, there needs to be something in the rules that either disqualifies that team for postseason play.
It is in the rules. Yeah,
and there also should be. I think there should be in the WPIAL. Think about if this was at a higher level of terms of attendance, like if it happened at the college level, of the amount of money you're talking about. And from a single A school, sure, that's not going to be that much of money. But if it happened at a 6A school, that's thousands and thousands of dollars of revenue that program is expecting. So I would even think that there needs to be instituted some type of
monetary,
rule that if you cancel within a certain level of days, if you're not canceling on Monday or Tuesday without extreme, like you didn't know these kids were sick the day, that's what I would want to see out of it. But I really hope that it was the case. The thing that makes it shaky on it is that the story kept changing.
The story changed every single day.
You needed to die on that hill.
Well,
at that point.
The only thing that they can do now, they have to claim, they can't play this week.
Oh.
Because in their press release, they said, these are not small injuries. These are broken bones. These are fractures. These are concussions. Okay, well, those don't heal in a week.
Right.
So you got to be done this week, too, in conference play, right?
Sure.
So, I don't know. Maybe Ligonier Valley got a bye this week. But I don't know. I bet you Shadyside gets real healthy real quick.
I'd be interested to see how the players feel about it at Shadyside. They're probably not going to want to speak publicly about it just to, they don't want to get in trouble. But I would think as a player, as a competitor, you would want to get out there and test
that's the
your
problem.
skills.
And
it's not, and they were 2-0.
Yeah, they have good players.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. Like I talked about their quarterback last week. He had the previous week, he ran for 4 touchdowns and threw for 4 touchdowns. So I don't know. We'll see.
Clarendon flu.
Strikes again.
Alive and well.
Yeah.
New variant.
New variant. Make sure you get the vaccine.
Yeah, get that Clarendon flu vax.
All right. We're moving on to what's hot and what's not. Carlo's hot right now.
I'm steaming.
Fire coming out those ears.
We'll tell you guys what we think is currently hot in the WPIAL and what is not. Who wants to lead us off?
I will lead it off.
Oh,
because I want to give some love to the
All right.
Fox Chapel Foxes.
Oh,
2-1.
there you go.
Sure they beat Baldwin. Sure they beat 3A Knock. I don't care. They're 2-1 right now. They play winless Penn Hills right now. So if there was ever a year for Fox Chapel to do it, it might be this year. So. Just wanted to give some quick love to the Foxes. Very, very cool for them to be right there. Max Milotti was, he had a major game, couple 100 yards on the ground there. So, yeah, shout out to Fox Chapel. Very happy. When a team like this comes around every once in a while, you got to show them some love. So, who's hot? Fox Chapel.
Well, I'll go with you because mine is very similar to that. It's the 3-0 Avella Eagles.
Oh, very nice.
How about the Avella Eagles who have
like an eagle?
They are currently right now soaring high. They have won as many games as they did all of last season.
Nice.
They went 3-7 last year. They're trying to go 4-0 this week for the first time since 2013.
Wow.
And their junior quarterback, Chaz Rush, can also pass and play defense. Played with a broken hand last year.
Man.
They eliminated all of his quarterback snaps under center. Played with a broken hand, still played.
You mean to tell me a small school figured out injuries? Wow.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Carlo. They have 73 boys enrolled in Advella.
You're kidding.
That makes them the second smallest football school in the WPIAL behind Monessen, who's only four guys away from being the smallest. And I went and looked. They're the 7th smallest football team in the state of Pennsylvania.
Wow.
So
interesting.
Shout out to the Avella Eagles.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Ryan Cecchini, the head coach of the Avella Eagles. They got 0-3. West Green coming to town looking for
get that fourth. Go get the fourth. Very nice.
All right, my hot's going to be Upper St. Clair quarterback Ethan Hellman, who is off to a score. Yeah, I talk about scorching hot. Then look that up, and you'll see Ethan Hellman's picture right there. 13 of 15 for 308 yards and 5 touchdowns in a 49-6 win against Franklin Regional. The thing about those 5 touchdowns, I think they all came in the first half. Is what you said.
They're all first half.
5 different receivers too, which was pretty cool. So I mean, he said, he was out there like Oprah. He said, Nico DeRazio, you get a touchdown. Bryce Jones, you get a touchdown. Drew Sanderson, you get a touchdown. Josh Snyder, you get a touchdown. Anthony Razzo, you get a touchdown. And Ethan Hellman, this was no one game, just like flash in the pan type thing. He has been electric so far this year. Leads the WPIAL in passing. 80% of his passes he's completed so far this year. 44 of 55 for 822 yards and 12 touchdowns. So great start. And put some respect on his name and make sure you spell his name right. And shout out to Chris Harlan from the Trib. He had tweeted this out the other day to remind people that Ethan Hellman, 2 N's at the end of his last name. And I love what Chris did in the tweet because he compared it to Molly Rotman from North Catholic, the great girls basketball coach, and Jeff Ackerman, the Baldwin boys basketball coach. Both of them 2 N's at the end of their name. So by Chris doing that, I should be able to spell Ethan Hellman's last name right, hopefully for the rest of the year. Although you do have to remember 2 L's in that too. So
2 L's, 2 N's.
But great job, Ethan. Keep it up.
Good stuff. Now to what is not, Carlo.
Ooh, I don't like saying this.
Oh boy.
The Big East Conference in 5A. Rough times right now. I mean, I really liked a lot of these teams preseason. Gateway 0-3, Franklin Regional 0-3, Woody High 1-2, Latrobe 1-2, Kiski 1-2, Armstrong 1-2. The only saving grace here is Penn Trafford. They're 3-0. That 3-0, they've only outscored their opponents by 12 points. They've come down to the fourth quarter every single time. And one of them against Norway. I mean, they might have, was Tristan Tavares in? Was he not?
He wasn't. I'm just gonna say it now. He was. They got that one wrong.
Yeah. So Penn Trafford kind of keeping them afloat. Yeah.
He was.
Yes.
I
knew what you meant.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
But Penn Trafford keeping these guys afloat. But right now in the non-conference, I mean, they're kind of getting beat up, and not only just that, by some 4A teams too, kind of playing up and beating them. So not good. Although I do like Woodland Hills long term. I do like Penn Trafford long term. But Franklin Regional kind of the surprise there. 0-3. Gateway 0-3. Again, Gateway getting outscored 105-28.
Wow,
it's very odd. So not used to that.
My not is going to be a not for now. The 0-3 Central Valley Warriors.
Yeah, it's very,
for the second time in as many years, they start the season 0-3. The WPIAL, what were they thinking? They doing this schedule.
Mark Lyons must have really upset somebody in the WPIAL when they put Central Valley schedule. And it doesn't get much easier.
You know what? I'm reevaluating my actual title of this. It's the WPIAL schedule makers.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
What were they doing? I mean, second year in a row they started 0-3. But why I said not yet? Because last year same thing happened, and this team ended up at Acrisure Stadium playing for WPIAL championship. Not ready to say that they'll do that again, but I think they're going to be in the Final Four again.
The cool part about what the WPIAL did with this, which respect to the WPIAL, Central Valley was the 2 seed last year.
Yeah.
So the WPIAL did take care of them in the playoffs. And I think 3A, you get a bye if you're in the top 4. So the WPIAL did take care of them last year. Hopefully they take care of them this year if they win the conference. Nope. No walk in the park this conference.
No.
Yeah,
No, it isn't.
I like that the schedule makers, they have produced some really good matchups for us to watch, which has been really
Yes.
cool. But some schools, it seems like they just gotten the short end of the stick.
Oh, yeah.
And just meat grinders of schedules. I mean, we talk about Central Valley, Bell Vernon the last couple years seems like every
Avonworth.
week.
Mhm.
TJ, they played McKeesport. Now they get Avonworth.
Right.
Those are two of the most physical teams in the WPIAL. And now they have to play them back to back, and they're both non-conference games.
Brad,
Agreed.
you're not.
My not is not a player, coach, anything like that. It was anyone who kept score at the North Catholic Blackhawk game. Because if you had to do that, chances are you were probably calling off sick like
The
Monday or Tuesday
statistician, my
with a
goodness.
sore hand.
Yeah.
You probably went to the doctor for carpal tunnel or something. It was probably bad shape. But if you didn't see, North Catholic won 65-49 in what was one of the highest scoring games in WPIAL history. There were 17 scores in the game, including 16 touchdowns. There were more than 1,100 yards of total offense, and not one but two 300-yard rushers in the game. I mean, how many times has that ever happened? Where two guys rushed for over 300 yards, Logan Shade and Braden McCarthy, both over 300 yards in that game.
Crazy.
So, I mean, that is just like video game Madden type numbers right there. Like some of those, that is just insane. So, if you had to keep score, if you were a media member or if you were the statistician, whatever. Thoughts and prayers with you on what has probably been a tough week.
I should have put them on my highlight show, but the highlight show would have been 35 minutes
It would
long.
have been the whole show.
You would have just been one game. That's all. Yeah.
That is truly, from a television's perspective, a worst nightmare because you're already stopping the game longer with our television timeouts. But then on top of it all, when you're scoring that many times, just it delays
kicks,
the game.
yeah, the extra points,
so
yeah,
much,
adds up.
and that we would have been saying good morning from Blackhawk at that point. So yeah, glad that one wasn't on TV.
I can't remember what the most highest scoring game I've ever covered for football, but basketball, I remember doing one. Of course, we both know Giorgio Kaitis, and when he was at Vincentian, they had scoring 100 points a game, 90 points a game, and they played Monessen. I remember, I think it was a playoff game. Monessen, Joe Salvino was probably there at the time, and it was like 110-102, and I'm up there trying to keep score, and it was just frantic pace up and down. And
Every time you look down, you miss something.
Right, you miss something. So yeah.
I think on that note, the largest score that I did in football that I can recall was Jeanette Aliquippa playoff
70-49.
Yep.
That was 70. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That
I
was
remember
crazy.
So I remember that night because that was the WPIAL semifinals,
Yep.
and that would
Char
have been
Valley.
2000 and 2008, 2000. That would have been prior. Was that prior senior year?
Was
I don't know if it was prior junior.
I can't remember.
It was 2007, 2008. But
Mhm.
so I was supposed to cover that game for the Post Gazette, and Mike White was going to be doing the Gateway North Allegheny game. But at the last second, we ended up changing up. So I went to Gateway North Allegheny, which ended up being a fabulous game. Gateway stopped NA at the 1 yard line to end the game.
Wow.
Cam Sadler was like the star player
Yeah.
there for Gateway at the time. But we were in the press box hearing updates on that Aliquippa game, and it was just like ridiculous. It was like the score is what? Like this is like amazing.
That was leading into Cam. That Gateway year would have led into the Central Gateway Our Father.
Oh, that would have been, yeah.
Our Father.
Yeah.
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right
one
there.
of the greatest, one of the greatest finishes in
Robbie
WPIAL championship history.
Kalkstein, yeah.
Oh boy,
Man,
Sadler.
that was a good one.
good stuff.
That's hot and not.
Hot or not, that's a wrap. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're bringing back a segment from last season that everybody liked. It was Fact and Fiction, but before that, coming up next, Carlo will sit down with Tom Poljak to announce the Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Raise Pittsburgh Coach and Player of the Week. Congratulations. Who is it? You got to stick around and watch. We're coming back at you. It's the WPIAL Insider Show presented to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates.
Welcome back to the WPIAL Insider Show, presented by Home Team Collections and, of course, Edgar Snyder and Associates. We are back with our friend of the show, Tom Poljak. Tom, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Always good to see you, my man.
One of our favorite segments, the Player and Coach of the Week. I'm going to be honest here, Tom. Last week, the player was a landslide with Timothy Andrassi. This week, I think the coach was a landslide here. So for everybody that doesn't know, we named our player and coach of the week. It's Ethan Hellman at Upper St. Clair as the player, and of course Duke John Core as the coach. And the player was definitely up in the air. The coach, I think, was a landslide. Were you expecting that?
Not at all. I mean, that would although how do you doubt him anymore?
No,
I mean, you really can't.
Yeah, you really can't. Coach John Core really has the Lopes rolling. Tom, you did go out to Upper St. Clair to interview Ethan. We'll show that real quick, and then we'll discuss right after. Sound good?
Sounds perfect.
All right, back to Tom and Ethan at Upper St. Clair.
Welcome back, everyone. Tom Poljak with you again here on the WPIAL Insider Show. Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Race Pittsburgh are the proud sponsors of the Player and Coach of the Week every single week for the entire season. We're coming to you live from Upper St. Clair High School, and we're going to feature our Player of the Week this week, Ethan Hellman. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, anytime you have 310 yards, great. Anytime you have 5 touchdowns, even better. The thing that I think is so cool about this is you had 5 different targets. Let's talk about that special game.
Yeah, so career high passing yards for me. That really only happens when you have a coach that believes in you and everyone on the field. So for me to throw 5 touchdowns to 5 different receivers, it's awesome because that just means everyone's unselfish, everyone's on their routes, on assignment, and I mean, if you're running the route, I'm going to get you the ball. So that's how it went, and I appreciate everyone who gave forth their effort in that game.
So we're looking at a 4-year starter, and that's incredible because you come with a ton of experience. Anyone you'd like to thank or shout out to? Anyone out there?
Yeah, my coaches, especially from last year to this year. It's a big change in how St. Clair football is played from the run game to the pass game. So I want to thank them for believing me. Really, everyone on the team because it's a team game. 11 guys every play. So my line, we've had some depth chart issues with the line. So I thank all the guys for stepping up, giving me time in the pocket, especially from being doubted at the beginning of the season. It's awesome to see what they're doing this year. And then my skill guys tend it, yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, you got a ton of skill out there, obviously.
Yeah.
So we're actually happy because we've been helping Upper St. Clair football raise funds for over 20 years. So it's an extra special day for me as well. Ethan, congratulations once again from the WPIAL Insider Show. Stay healthy. Have a great season.
Ethan, what a well-spoken kid. He loves showing love to everybody. 5 touchdowns on 5 different targets. That's incredible.
The 5 targets is what does it.
Yeah, it's something else. He's definitely elevated his game this year. Right now, I think if you did a quarter season player of the year award, I think Ethan Hellman takes it right now in the entire WPIL. We'll see how we finish up. We have 75% of the season still to go.
Absolutely.
But he's off to a scorching hot start. And you said something interesting there, Tom. You've been working with Upper St. Clair for over 20 years.
Yeah, it really has been over 20 years. It was just an incredible program to work with.
What was Coach Render like?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'll put it this way. It sounds crazy, but I had a booster come up to me at one time and said, "We can't understand why Coach Render likes you so much." And I said, "Well, what kind of a comment is that?" They're like, "It's not fond of too many like sales type people and stuff." And I was just, I think he appreciated me because I knew and I was a man of very few words around Coach Render.
Yeah.
And he appreciated that. And prior to COVID, we would do a big pizza party when we did the cards, our card sale, and had fun. And Coach would always be like following me around looking for me. And all he would say every year is like, "Tommy, are we good?" And I'm like, "Coach, we're fantastic." and then he loved me. That was it. But what a great guy.
He's the best. Yeah, when I first started on WPIL Insider, I was 19 years old. So I was a little bit, I don't want to say intimidated by coaches, but I also wanted to be in my place. I didn't want to overstep my boundaries.
Sure.
And Coach Render was one of the first coaches. Him and Coach Novak, 2 legends of the game, both of them seen me and were like, "Hey, whatever you need, we can help you out, whatever." I was like, "Oh, much appreciated." So I always had respect for Coach Render. So
how can you not with the record?
No doubt about it. So Ethan Hellman, your Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Raise Player of the Week. Now the Coach of the Week, Duke John Core. This one was a landslide here, Tom, and you have the framed photo for him. This We appreciate the photo from Emily Matthews of the Pittsburgh Union Progress. They provided the beautiful photo. But, of course, the Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Raise Coach of the Week. And that's Duke, baby. I mean, he's ready to rock and roll and coach. That had to be on their state title run last year, I believe. So this was, not a current picture, but still one of my favorite pictures of Duke. Just the intensity and just a great guy.
And a special thank you to Home Team Collections for putting this together for us. I mean, great partners of ours, and we're glad to have them along.
Yeah, Home Team's the best. We got Woody High up here, framed and ready to go. Yeah, Home Teams is unbelievable. But, Coach John Core, 3 straight WPIAL title games. Looking to get into a 4th. I'll tell you what, they look pretty darn good. Like they're they had a couple graduating seniors, but they replaced them and they look like $1 million right now, Tom.
I thought they were going to take it all last year. I mean, it really did.
They that was a heartbreaking way to go down in the state finals, but Coach John Core just keeps elevating the program year after year. And at first when he went to the WPIAL title game in 2019, everybody thought, a breakout year for Avonworth, and then no, they just keep going back. It's like they're there yearly now. So big fans of Coach John Core. He was not happy with Mr. Insider. I picked against him last week. Not happy.
Well, 2011 when he came aboard, just the typical story of changing the culture, building a program, and creating a championship program, and just what a great guy.
Yeah, great man. Built a unbelievable program. So we're looking forward to the Lopes, seeing what they can do in 3A. And 3A right now is might be them and Amani. It looks pretty good like that, but you never know. North Catholic's offense is averaging over 60 points a game, so we'll see how they do with that.
It is one of those years, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, absolutely it is.
Some years it's like everyone looks like they're equal and everything's just kind of, as long as people stay healthy, it's early, so a lot of things could change, a lot of dynamics could change.
And that's a great point. Last year, going into this game against Thomas Jefferson, Avonworth, they almost beat Aliquippa last year. We're leading after 3 quarters, and Aliquippa goes on a crazy run in the 4th, but it knocked out 3 offensive linemen for the TJ game, and TJ kind of put the gas on them. I think they won by 37 points last year. I do not expect that to be the case this year. I actually took Duke John Core this week. I took him over the Billy Goat, Bill Chirpak, so I don't know how I'm going to pick, but we'll see.
My man Chirp, you're going against Chirp.
It was a tough pill to swallow. I just kept looking at that 37 points last year, and I was like, I don't know. It's tough. But, if you beat Aliquippa, I got to show some respect one way or the other. So
that's a gutsy call against my friend Chirp.
It's not an easy call either. It's not an easy call either. So, but right now my rankings, I have TJ at number 6, and I have Avonworth at number 16 in the entire WPIAL. So I put it out there on Twitter. I said, if Avonworth does beat TJ, where should they rank amongst best teams? Although they're a 3A team, where would they rank? Because they do have the offensive and defensive line to go up against these bigger schools. So I think that they would be in the top 10 range for sure.
Yeah. Oh, if they take out TJ.
If they take out TJ,
sure.
It'll be very interesting and will throw quite a wrench into my top 25 rankings for sure.
I would not bet the farm on that.
I would not. No, trust me. It's very low confidence. Very low confidence. Now, Tom, you guys are hiring at Vertical Raise, I hear.
Yeah, that's. Thank you for mentioning that. I forgot. We're growing so quick in Western Pennsylvania. Vince DeVivo up north. I'm looking for someone to help me in the south of Pittsburgh. So if I know everyone says it, but very realistic 6-figure future for the right person. It's kind of weird because in our field, the young people like right out of college do very well, and then the older guys like me that don't have kids anymore around, it's the guys and girls that have families that this isn't really a good match for. And I'll tell you why, because you're needed at 3:30 to 6:30 to 7 in that range,
right?
Where young parents are just doing all those activities with their children. So we'll look at anyone, but it's a good opportunity for someone young or someone older, that can really work in those prime times in school,
right?
I mean, because during the day, it's unless you're working with an AD, it's tough to get into a school, but it's a great job for the right person,
right? So yeah, if you're interested, check out or contact Tom. His information is right down below us right there. But yeah, Tom, great segment right here. I'm very excited about this Coach and Player of the Week. I think that this is a home run segment. People have been looking forward to it. Who's going to take it this week? That's the big question. Could Duke John Core go back-to-back is the question.
Wow, that would be.
If you take out the Billy
another
Goat,
pitcher.
yeah, if you take out the Billy Goat, yeah, we'll be sure to snap for a new one.
I'm still waiting for that defensive player to show up for the week.
That's a great point, and we will keep our eyes out for that defensive player of the week.
Let's go D. Come on, someone turned it on this week.
For Tom Poljak of Black Bear Fundraising and Vertical Raise and Vinny DeVivo, we thank them for their support. This is Carlos off for the WPIAL Insider Show. We'll be right back right after this.
Some moments on the field go beyond the game. They shape who we become. At Home Team Collections, we honor those moments with the care and craftsmanship they deserve. Because these moments aren't just memories, they're a legacy worth preserving. Any team, any sport, any logo. Visit HomeTeamCollections.com today and save $10 off your first order.
Welcome back inside this edition of the WPIAL Insider Show, Season 3, Episode 4. Usual suspects still here. Brad Everett, Carlos Zofko, Matt Fargo with you, gearing you up for another week of WPIAL football. And it's now time for a little blast from the past. Last year was a very popular segment. Some would call it wildly popular. And we're going to bring it back for you. It's fact or fiction. And we are going to cover all 6 classifications with the statement, and we will then tell you whether or not we think that statement is fact or fiction. Mm-hmm. We'll start in Single A. The Laurel Spartans are a title contender. Fact or fiction? Brad, lead us off.
Fiction. I do like this Laurel team. If the statement had been the Laurel Spartans are a threat to advance deep into the WPIAL playoffs, I would say fact. But it's so difficult in this class because of Fort Cherry and Clareton. And while anything can happen, it's hard to see those two teams not meeting in the final. So it's hard for me to see Laurel breaking into that. Now, Laurel, by the way, their last WPIAL title came a few months after I was born. That's how long ago it's been. And I'm obviously ancient. So yep. It's been a while since they've won one. So they are definitely due there. But I mean, I still got to give them some love though at the same time, because they've been really impressive. 3-0. And the interesting thing was wins against Elwood City, Mohawk, and Riverside. And last year against those 3 teams, they went 0-3. And they were outscored 55-41. This year, 3-0, and they've outscored those teams 122-20. So remarkable turnaround there for Laurel and what they've been able to do. Now, it'll be interesting this week. They get Canavan this week, and Canavan's feeling pretty good about themselves after beating Still Valley last week. So how will Laurel do? If they can win this game, though, I think that there's a pretty good path there to 8-0 going into their final 2 games. They finished with Southside and Neshannock. But Laurel looks like the favorite in the Big 7 right now, I would say. But as far as a title contender, I would pump the brakes on that for now.
I'm with you, Brad. Going fiction, and I'm filing it under NMI. Need more information. Yeah. Those opponents Brad was just talking to are combined 4-6. They're all 1-2 on the season. Great start for the Laurel Spartans, but this week will actually be at least a little look inside of if they're really a title contender or not. If they could beat Canterbury, and how they beat Canterbury, I think is also an answer.
I'm actually going to go fact here.
Oh, man.
I should have seen this coming. This is like sometimes Mr. Insider being an idiot. On my WPIAL top prospect list this year, I had 3 Laurel guys in like the Division I FCS and Division II grade, which is those are really good high school football players. And I remember thinking like, oh, that's odd. Laurel has 3 top 100 players. Like, blows right by my head. Now the problem is Clarendon had 8 players on my entire prospect list, which is 300. Some of those guys were in the 200s, late 200s. And Fort Cherry had the number 1 player in Matt Sig, of course. So, I mean, this is a major hurdle to get through. But Luca Santilli, the quarterback, Jack Miles, and Colton Carlson, those guys can win you football games. If you have a QB, you have a chance. I like Jeff Thompson at Clarendon, but if I'm matching up Laurel and Clarendon, I think Laurel has a slight edge there. It's going to come down to the offensive and defensive lines there, which Clarendon probably favors. But I think if I'm seeing things correctly, I think Clarendon will be the 2 seed. If Laurel can get the 3 seed, I think there's a chance they can beat Clarendon. Not saying that they will.
You just put Clarendon fans on a roller coaster. They all loved you. 20
They're
minutes ago.
furious at me right now.
Now you're going to be on a Facebook post.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that that's a knock on Clarendon. I think that's saying, hey, Laurel was a lot better than what I thought preseason. And actually, I should have seen this preseason because I had 3 of them in my top 100, which is unheard of for a 1A school. But once again, Clarendon having 8 on my list, also unheard of for a 1A school. So something's got to give somewhere.
All right. We'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, I Seatown not going to be happy with me there.
No.
And for good reason.
2A we go. Next factor, fiction. Shadyside Academy forfeiting is the weakest move in WPIAL history. I will preface this with the fact that I don't write these. That's our very handsome producer. So
he's in the back there.
He is in the back, behind the glass. Shadyside Academy forfeiting is the weakest move in the WPIAL. I'll go first here. Fiction. It is not the weakest move in WPIAL history, which is spanning now 111 years of WPIAL championships.
It's a big statement.
I will tell you, though, what is the weakest move, I believe, and that was when the league attempted to ban, and I'm quoting here, live Twittering in the WPIAL championships from the media. That was the weakest
That was weak.
WPIAL history.
Wow.
That was bizarre.
Blast from the
Very
past right there.
Yeah.
Man. When was that? That was
Live Twittering. Oh,
2013,
man. Yeah.
2014,
okay.
Yeah. That was, you're going to put social media.
Yeah.
That's what, when did...
No social
Isn't there
media
like an amendment here somewhere? What are we,
That was just
Anyway.
strange. That was.
it almost sounds like I made it up. Like it's
Right.
been so long that it.
But that is not fiction. That's
No,
a fact.
that was
is a
fact.
That actually happened.
So that's my weakest move in WPIAL history. What do you feel, Brad?
I'm going to say fiction as well. Just by the way it was worded, I'm not going to say weakest move in WPIAL history, but I will say one of the most controversial moves in recent WPIAL history. I will say that would be the best way I would put it.
I'm a prisoner of the moment, gentlemen. I'm saying fact. Just the fact that they're 2-0, firing on all cylinders. Hey, Clarendon's coming to town. We're sick. Yeah, weakest move in history. Do I know the entire WPIAL history? No. Prisoner of the moment. Fact.
All right.
Wait till you hear the story about what Etna did against Oakmont back in 1923.
Right.
And that would change your opinion on what you're talking about.
I actually remember, it just popped into my head, Bishop Canterbury did this and would beat up, Ulst as a program when they first started out. They had like a good season or two. Isaiah Neely, a good friend of the program, was very good at when they first started. But they won one game their first year, and then they started figuring it out. They went like 5-4, missed the playoffs by Gardner points back then. But then the next like 3, 4, 5 years, they were just getting crushed. Canterbury had some really good. Mike Dunn was on those teams. Like Canterbury was really good. And then when the tide flipped and Ulsh actually started getting good, Canterbury was like, oh, look, we don't have enough players. Like, so I thought that was...
Yeah, this is not the first nor the last that'll happen, but...
It has happened.
Yeah, it has happened.
Not
Not to an undefeated team, though. Probably not. I don't know that either.
That
They're
was
from a higher class. Yeah.
3A. I think that horse is dead.
It's been dead, but it's in bad shape right now. It is you can't even tell it's a horse right now. You cannot even tell it was a horse. Bludgeoned.
Carla must have paid the producer off to talk about that again. 3A, the Western Hills Conference is not ready for North Catholic's firepower. The Western Hills Conference is not ready for North Catholic's firepower, keeping in mind North Catholic is in the Western Hills Conference, meaning their opponents are they
Avonworth,
ready?
Quaker Valley, Beaver, Central Valley, McGuffey.
And the McGuffey.
Highlanders.
Okay.
Everybody knows that, of course.
Everybody does. I always thought they were the McGuffins.
I can't.
Yeah. Someone said the McGuffins.
I can't believe that McGuffey's in this conference.
He said the McGuffins. I mean, McGuffin sounds like what they serve at McGuffey's cafeteria.
You led me right into it.
Literally a layup.
Is a McGuffin like a knockoff, like Egg McMuffin that they
Yeah,
sell like at the
that could be,
cafeteria?
it could be.
They
Oh,
might have
yeah.
something like that. I don't
Get
know.
your McGuffin.
Get your McGuffin. Buy one get one free McGuffins today.
Have it your way.
every day.
Carlo?
I'm going to say fiction here. What is North Catholic's doing, averaging over 60 points a game? Unbelievable. But after what I saw from Avonworth, Hopewell looks very strong, and I'm never going to bet against Mark Lyons' defense. So although North Catholic dominating the non-conference, I think in the Western Hills, obviously they're not going to average 60 in the Western Hills. But are they a legitimate contender? Last week I would have said yes. After seeing Avonworth, no, I'm taking Avonworth.
I agree with you. I'm going fiction. Avonworth holding Aliquippo to 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And then here's another fun fact. Hopewell has allowed 2.6 points per game. That's the lowest in the WPIAL.
Yep.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So defensively,
And they play like Newcastle,
Right,
like
yeah, like they
have
haven't
some
played
good
slack teams.
good
right?
programs.
I not to say North Catholic can't win these games because I
Right.
believe that they can, but again, kind of using what the wording is. Yeah, these teams are ready. I'm excited that North Catholic's ready to compete with them. I
Right,
think it's
agreed.
kind of more the
Yeah, I put it down as fiction as well, especially when you consider the coaching that's in there, and you kind of touch on it a little bit. Mark Lyons and Duke Joncourt are 2 of the coaches in that conference. They will have their teams ready. The other teams will have their teams ready. Now the question is, will they be able to stop them? It's like what's coming, but can you stop it? And that's what we're going to have to see there. But that 60 points a game is no joke. Their first 3 games last season, 62 points combined in those games, and
Wow.
and now 60 a game, most highest scoring team in the WPIAL. That schedule's interesting. The final 2 games of the season, Avonworth and Hopewell. So those are
it's gonna be real good.
Some some marquee games in the Western Hills to close out the regular season.
no doubt. All right, 4A we go. Newcastle is the biggest surprise of the year in 4A. Brad, are they? Are the Hurricanes raising canes?
Oh, they're raising canes, just like I will be in about the half. No, I don't think I'll be stopping tonight. But
Not
I'm
going
going to say,
Champs Sports Bar?
no, of course I'm going to Champs. I'm not going to sell it our sponsor
some
like
cheese
that.
sticks.
Get some cheese sticks.
I hear their cheesesteaks better.
Oh goodness, Steph Curry. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say fact on this. I'm gonna say Newcastle is the biggest surprise this year in 4A. Which I think, looking back, last year we were probably saying the same thing because they started last year 4-0.
Yeah, they were hot again.
Shout outs against Penn Hills and Highlands. And what's really neat is this is a young team. Quarterback's a freshman. Their top rusher's a sophomore, and their top receiver's a sophomore. And old guys that are hoopers too. Damian Harrison is playing for them too. He was one of Newcastle's top basketball players last year. Kai Cox, who had a Division I scholarship offer without even playing as a freshman. He's playing now.
Pretty
and he's
good.
excelling as a wide receiver. Marino Graham, I wonder if he was named after Dan Marino. He's the quarterback there. He's a freshman. The question is going to be, how will they finish? Because they started 4-0 last year and then lost 4 of their last 5 and finished 5-4. So we'll see. We'll have a better understanding a month from now what Newcastle is. But so far, so good for the Canes.
I'm going fiction for really the points that Brad made. They did this last year. And so it's not much of a surprise if they did it last year. They did it again. How can it be much of a surprise? The surprise belongs to the Mars Fighting Planets. They're 3-0.
Took the words out of my mouth. Couldn't agree more.
And they were 1-4 a season ago. Obviously, we know what they ended up doing in the postseason, but they got blown out by McKeesport in the semifinals. Eric Kasparovitz, cardiac kids of Mars right now in terms of winning those close games. They went on a essential walk-off against Bethel Park 2 weeks ago. They get by the skin of their teeth against North Hills. Throw style points out the window. It has not been pretty, but Mars 3-0. Best surprise in 4A.
I agree, and I would like to give a shout out to Char Valley as well. They're kind of in that realm with 4A, but yeah,
Need more from Char Valley.
Need a little bit more.
Yeah.
Need a little bit more, but yeah, agreed with you, Matt. Mars is my surprise team.
All right, to 5A. Through 3 games, 5A has been underwhelming so far. So through these 3 games, has 5A been underwhelming?
Fact. Big time fact. I mean, we haven't seen this many losses to 4A schools. South Fayette just dropped one to Cannon Mac. South Fayette didn't lose until I think week 6 last year. As we touched on earlier, Gateway 0-3, Franklin Regional 0-3, North Hills 0-3, Penn Hills 0-3, and all these teams have lost to a 4A school. It's just kind of alarming. Even Shaler lost to a 4A school. Hampton Shaler was supposed to be pretty good this year. They're 0-3. And the Baldwin Fighting Highlanders also 0-3. That's another surprise one. Maybe they're the surprise. But no, 5A,
Surprise.
Peters Township, Upper St. Clair, they're doing what we expected. Bethel Park losing to a 4A. Mars. I mean, these are things that did not happen last year. And, everybody was talking about 5A as the premier classification. I don't know right now. 6A looks pretty dang good, too. And 4A looks really good. So 5A, very underwhelming.
I agree with you. I'm going fact. Only 3 undefeated teams in 5A, and 6 teams haven't won a game. And the only classification that has more teams that haven't won a game is single A, and they have 7, and they have more teams.
Yeah, they have way more teams. Yeah,
in the classification. So I think just based off of that math, yeah, it's down right now. Now I still think the Allegheny 6 conference is good. I'm starting to think it's not as good as it was a season ago.
Yep.
We just saw South Fayette get beat by Cannon Mac last week. That was another surprise. I think
Agreed.
we didn't talk about top of the show. Moon losing to Penn Trafford last week. That happened last year, but I think maybe in the way I'm a little concerned about Moon's defense, especially when they play a Nolan DeLucia led offense.
And, Highlands beat Armstrong. Highlands is 3A, so just weird.
Yeah, you talk about undefeated teams, and I want to say last year the Allegheny, the Allegheny
all but
6.
one.
Yeah, they were all undefeated at this point, outside of one team. So and now there's not even that many undefeated teams in the whole classification.
Right? Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
what a difference a year makes there. I agree with both of you. I'm going to go fact on this one. There just hasn't been many style points at all. We know Pine is very good, but that second half against Central Catholic wasn't very inspiring. Woody High 1-2, albeit those losses to arguably the best 2 6A teams out there. USC's been great, but they've beaten teams that have a combined record of 1-8. Peters beat McKeesport, but there was no Keemon Spell, so that kind of takes a little bit of the luster out of that game. But good news, there's some fireworks coming soon. Upper St. Clair Peters in 2 weeks. So
Nice.
that's going to be one that we'll be talking a lot
On
about.
KDK radio.
On radio.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll throw this in there. It might not look good now, but it's still going to give us the best playoff
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
of the tournament.
Mhm.
All right, that leaves us to 6A, which is the again, not writing these. This is the funnest 6A has been in 5 years.
Funnest is the word, I think.
Most fun, I think, would probably be the way
The
to go
handsome
there.
producer wasn't a grammar guy, okay?
Grammar, Gramer. Yeah. Jeez, this guy.
What is going on?
This guy.
Brad, take it, please.
All right, I'm going to say fact that this has been the most fun 6A has been in 5 years. And a big reason for that is the Hempfield Spartans. The fact that they're 3-0,
Preach.
and that's a great story. And the fact that, anytime that it's just not Central and NA, that you throw another team into the mix and you actually have a little bit of competitive nature, and it's not just, okay, we're just going to pencil in Central and NA in the final. Well, Hempfield, man, they might have a say in things here, and they do have a say in things. We'll see what they do this week. But shout out to Coach Nick Kiefer. He's done a tremendous job there. Some fun games, here. Both teams have needed to replace a lot of guys. We'll see how things play out here these next couple weeks. But I like Hempfield. And I like, Norwin's another
I was
team
gonna say
that's
you better
kinda
bring up
played
my
in the mix
Norwin
a little
Knights.
bit. Some of these teams may be uninspiring so far, but I think this has been a fun year, and I hope it continues. If Hempfield can beat NA, then we're really gonna, we're really gonna get interesting then.
That's amazing that you say Hempfield if they can beat NA.
Yeah.
When in 2 short weeks, it's going to be Norwin versus NA. And if you think I'm not taking the Knights this year, after all that smack I talked last year, I like Norwin. Norwin and Hempfield have been a lot of fun, the funnest that they've been in a long time. But I'll tell you what, Seneca Valley, they're capable this year. Mount Lebanon has Division I talent all over the place.
Yeah.
They're 0-3, which is odd. But yeah, I would say 6A has been the most fun in the last 5 years.
Fiction. 6A's not fun. It's still not fun. You needed another team out of 2 to be good? That's what makes it fun?
Hey,
No,
that's what makes it fun.
Not fun.
We don't ask for much.
No, you're setting the bar so low, and I mean, I love the story of Hempfield, and I really hope that they make this fun down the stretch. But it is still so early in this race. Your Central Catholic's only loss is to a perennial power, and that's going to be in a state championship, and maybe so will the Vikings. And then just the bottom cellar dwellers of, Mount Lebanon, Seneca Valley. Like, it's not necessarily every classification has the teams at the bottom. It's just the sample size is so small. I'll tell you when it's going to get fun. Next year, when Pine Richland gets into 6A.
That's when it's going to
That
get
will
fun.
be when it's fun. It's not fun now.
Yeah, we've had some fun games though. That NA Woody High game went down to the final minute. That was a lot of fun for a good part of that Central Pine game. I mean, that was a fun game.
The
That was a
Norwin
great
Penn Trafford
atmosphere.
game.
Norwin Penn Trafford came down. So
Well, Pine is in what classification?
5A.
Yeah, so that's what made it fun. 5A came.
5A always does make
You need someone from a different class to
Right.
make it fun. Yeah, right. Same with Woodland Hills and NA too.
Yeah.
I guess,
There
right?
you go.
Yeah.
And Penn Trafford Norwin.
And Penn Trafford
Penn
Norwin.
Trafford
There you
Norwin,
go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like with
Interclassification.
so few teams in the conference, you need some outside help.
Which makes it not fun.
I see your point. But I disagree.
Okay. All right. Well, it's now time. You're going to agree that it is time for the Whippies.
Oh, absolutely.
It's time for the Whippy Awards, our weekly award show here on the WPIAL Insider Show.
People been loving the Whippies.
It's fun. I think it's a good time. Obviously, we're making up award names, and we will be handing them out virtually, of course. Don't expect anything in the mail. And we'll see where the guys decide to go and hand out the Whippies.
Can Carlo top Best Beaver Award? That's what I'm.
I don't think
so
I'll
anxious.
ever top Best Beaver Award.
So curious. Let's see what he picks up. I'm still laughing about that. I got a lot of looks on Twitter and
clipped
social
that?
media.
That was smart.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
No one's talking about his insult about my picks. I'll tell you that.
The best, like he said it, and I'm over here thinking, and I heard what he said
Immediately.
about Best Beaver Award, and I am just inside, I'm cracking up, and I'm just telling myself, Brad, don't laugh, be an adult about this.
I'm not.
And then Matt looks over to me, and then all bets were off. I lost it, and then I think I said something about it, and it took a good while before Carlo actually.
It took me
figured
about
out,
a minute and a half.
about a minute and a half to figure out what he said there.
It was a long 90 seconds.
The best one part was you said, "What's the award card again?"
Yes, that's right.
Oh, goodness.
It seemed a lot better on paper, didn't it?
Yeah. Have you started reading your awards out
I
loud,
have
Carlo?
read this one out loud. This one's very safe, and it's going to junior Hampton kicker Jake Lucas, the
Oh.
Golden Leg Award.
Wow, Golden Leg.
46-yard field goal. Shout out to Willie Hasselrig getting the squad down there for a field goal in the final seconds of the game. They win by a point. If you haven't watched this game, check it out on my highlight show, posted on YouTube and Twitter. Hampton, Jake Lucas Jr., Golden Leg Award. Congrats, sir.
Golden Leg.
Bradley.
All right, mine is going to be the OG Coach Award, and that's going to be going to not a head coach, but an assistant coach, Tony Riccido, who is an assistant coach in his first year. Well, his first year at Jefferson Morgan. He's assisting Shane Zayats out there. The Rockets, by the way, off to a 3-0 start. But Tony Riccido is an amazing guy, and most likely the oldest coach in the WPIAL, and most likely one of the oldest coaches in the country, 85 years old.
Wow.
He's in his 51st year of coaching. He started in 1975. And this is a guy that's been all over the place. And as far as head coaching goes, it wasn't that long ago. He coached Best Center the past 4 seasons. They opened the job last year. And
Wait, until he was 84?
Until he was 84. What? He coached 81, 82, 83, 84. He coached his early 80s. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And I talked to him. I stopped out at a Jeff Morgan practice last week, and I had talked to him a few times over the years, but really didn't know him too well. And we had a good chat out there, and he is just an unbelievable guy. And he said, Best Center, basically, they must have thought I was too old, and they opened the job, and he still wants to coach. And this guy is just, he looks like he's in his 60s. He doesn't look like he's like 85 by any means, but he has been in the game for so long, and he's coached all over the WPIAL. And he told me just an unbelievable story. He was talking about the places that he's coached over the years. And one of the places he coached was Old Duquesne High School. He coached at Old Duquesne High School. And the only coach, like me being a West Mifflin guy, like I know some Duquesne history, but the only coach that I remember from Duquesne was Pat Monroe, who was, Duquesne grad. He led them to WPIAL and state title back in 1993. And he was their coach up till the high school closed. So I asked Tony, I was like, did you coach there with Pat Monroe? And he said, no, I was right there before Pat Monroe. Tony coached at Duquesne in 1990 and 1991. And I said to Tony, I was like, you had to known what you had coming up there. Like, why did you leave? Because Kevin Price, the legendary Duquesne athlete, Tony coached him his freshman and sophomore years at Duquesne. And that sophomore class, the last year Tony was there, he knew that he had a WPIAL championship team there. Well, the 92 season comes around, and one of Tony's good friends was Bill Connors. And Bill Connors, a legendary WPIAL coach, he led Best Center and Ringgold to WPIAL titles years and years ago. And Tony and Bill were good friends. Well, Bill Connors gets diagnosed with a brain tumor, and the two are good friends. And Bill Connors calls up his good buddy Tony Riccido in 1992 and says, listen, I need some help this year. I can't do this all by myself. I need some trusted guys in there. And Tony's like, Bill, this is a WPIAL championship team I have here, and this is really going to be a good team. And they talked about it more, and Bill Connors was like, I really need you. So, and Tony Riccido said, I felt like I owed it to him to do it. So he leaves the head coaching job at Duquesne to go to Bell Vernon to be an assistant coach for Bill Connors. And they were awful that year. They had an awful team that year, but he did this selfless thing. And then 2 years later, Duquesne wins WPIAL and state titles. And then Tony Riccido ends up becoming the head coach at Bell Vernon after that. But I thought that was an amazing story, just how selfless of a guy Tony Riccido was. Holy smokes. He knew what he had going at Duquesne. Kevin Price was there and all these other great players. He goes to Bell Vernon and they stink. And he's probably thinking, goodness, I could have been down there at Duquesne on this great team. But Tony Riccido, he lives on a 500-acre farm, 500 acres, okay? And I asked him, I was like, how the heck do you maintain all that? And he goes, work 7 days a week, 14, 15-hour days. I said, you do? And he said, oh, yeah, absolutely.
I love this guy.
He's 85 years old.
That's fantastic.
And an amazing thing about it is he says he doesn't drink water. They call him a camel. And that he'll work outside the whole day without drinking any water. I was like, what do you naturally hydrate or something like that? And I guess each evening, then he tries to catch up and he drinks a gallon of water.
Maybe
so,
that's
I mean, a part of me is worried for him. It's like, dude, you need to drink some water. But if it's gotten him through this long,
if it ain't
he's
broke,
doing
don't
the right
fix
thing.
it.
But this guy, 85, and I was at this Jeff Morganson practice, and he's yelling at kids out there on the field and everything like that. And Shane Zayats, the head coach, said, hey, this was a no-brainer, basically. This guy has been around. He has been around the game for so long. He's knowledgeable. The kids respect him a lot. So it was just cool seeing Tony Riccido. 51 years, 85 years old. So Tony, man, great seeing you that day. And I hope you coach till you're 100.
That's great stuff.
Great stuff, bro.
Really good. And I think
You have
it
to
goes
follow that
under-
up.
it goes underappreciated though. The unsung heroes, so many assistant coaches around the WPIAL that are selfless and don't get a lot of the credit for program success. But I think the best in the business attribute a lot of what they get in the press to
the
their
assistants.
staffs.
They do.
Agreed.
They do. Yep.
Yep, that's why you were part of that.
That's
buddy.
right. They read that. Even low level staff members.
So
get a trip.
I've been debating, guys. I need your help, especially after Brad goes with that. I have a perfect performance award.
Ooh.
I have a cardiac kids award.
You got to go cardiac kids there.
What do you think?
I'd say cardiac kids.
All right,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
go with cardiac kids, and that belongs to the Penn Trafford Warriors, opening up with that 3-point win over Norwin, taking down Mount Lebanon by a touchdown.
Yep.
And then Moon, the 1-point win, driving that 95 yards. We were talking about that. Penn Trafford kind of flying high right now, and
Absolutely.
dude,
95 yards, 56
I
seconds.
mean,
crazy.
that's as kind of as.
I mean, they
good
were
as it
just
gets.
throwing bombs and coming down with them.
Nate
They were-
Desmond.
Yeah, Desmond was just throwing
I mean,
bombs.
he is.
Cody Yakimelli
Yeah,
is
Cody-
gonna
he's
be a
looking
dude,
good. Yeah,
and they
looking
did
good.
that without, this is Mr. Insider talking, not the coaching staff giving me info. I think Ben Grabowski's their best player. They did it without Ben Grabowski this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cody Yakimelli, Desmond. I mean, they really put the team on their back there.
Did you want to hear what the other one was?
Yeah.
The honorable mention, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
Perfect performance goes to Joey Felitsky.
Oh,
He was
Joe.
12 for 12.
He was 100.
100% with that Blackhawk North Catholic game.
For like
So-
1,000 yards too, right?
Yeah, right. 249 of them. He threw 4 touchdown passes,
Wow.
and
So he averaged over 20 yards an attempt. That's
Pretty good.
amazing. Wow.
Pretty good.
perfect performance. An
Jeez.
honorable mention.
Goodness.
Congratulations to both Joey and the Penn
The
Trafford
Cardiac
Warriors.
Cats.
Cardiac Cat. We got Cardiac Warriors.
They're cardiac warriors. Yes.
Yeah.
The cardiac MacGuffins.
I knew it was coming. Knew it was coming. Well, up against another break, so you know what that means. In the back half of it, it's time for the pick segment. We'll break it all down for you on this edition of the WPIAL Insider Show, presented to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates. Picks on the back half of this one.
Some moments on the field go beyond the game. They shape who we become. At Home Team Collections, we honor those moments with the care and craftsmanship they deserve. Because these moments aren't just memories, they're a legacy worth preserving. Any team, any sport, any logo. Visit HomeTeamCollections.com today and save $10 off your first order.
You spend your life on the field, in the gym, or on the court. You know what it means to be part of a team, to push for a goal, and to chase a win. What if you could take that same drive and turn it into a high-paying career? BMAC Logistics is looking for people just like you for their Beaver and North Shore Pittsburgh office locations. BMAC is a top 100 freight brokerage in the U.S., and they know what the best athletes make to make the best sales professionals. Why? Because you're already wired for success. You're competitive, you know how to work with a team, and you're not afraid of rolling up your sleeves and putting in that hard work to get the ultimate reward. At BMAC Logistics, you'll join a high-energy team as an inside sales representative. It doesn't matter if you're fresh out of high school, college, or already have some experience. BMAC Logistics will give you the training and the support you need to succeed. If you have that natural hunger to win, you could be earning a six-figure salary within the first 15 to 18 months. Ready to take your competitive spirit to the next game, to the next rewarding career? Join the swarm at BMAC Logistics and apply today. Thanks for BMAC Logistics for sponsoring the WPIAL Insider Show.
Welcome back inside the WPIAL Insider Show, presented to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates, Carlos Zofko, Brad Everett, Matt Fargo, defending picks champion for this segment, our pick segment. And before we get to the picks, how did we do last week?
You and myself, both 7-3. Brad, 6-4.
Ooh.
You didn't go on the island, so 2-0 in
There
island
was
picks.
not many island picks last week.
Yeah, Matt had Avonworth over Aliquippa, an astute observation, and then I had Neshannock over Elwood City.
Yeah, and then we should have had that.
And I was not happy at halftime getting that halftime update score. So
that was a tough
I said,
text.
my
a very
Neshannock
angry-
Lancer's not good, and they
That's
roared
not
back.
what you said either.
I think I said something much later. But shout out Gino Mazzacchio, shout out Anthony Aiken, just tore up the place in the second half. I had full confidence. We can definitely say that.
Oh, let's jump into it. Good one to start it off. Those Hempfield Spartans we've been talking about, 3-0 against undefeated North Allegheny. Newman Stadium, right field at Newman Stadium, I think is what Bob Bazzuto would prefer us call it.
Does anybody have the Stones?
Give me North Allegheny.
Bradley?
If anyone out there is saying that Hempfield has no chance, remember, this game was tied at the half last year. So they at least for 2 quarters of football, they played right with North Allegheny last year. North Allegheny pulled away in the second half. Man, I part of me really does want to take Hempfield, man. It's been a great story. This team has some juice. I think that they can, win a bunch of games this year, but NA just not ready for them to beat NA yet. So I'll take North Allegheny.
A lot of toe tapping there for just for that pick there, Bradley.
Tony toe tap.
I can't in good conscience go against North Allegheny 2 weeks in a row. Wink, wink. Give me NA this week. Give me NA this week. We'll see about next week.
Brother. Penn Trafford is at Woodland Hills.
Conference play.
Yeah. Yes.
Could this be for the Big East Conference Championship?
It
I mean,
could
is this
be.
it? Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. Carlo.
Ooh, letting me start. I don't know if this will be an island pick or not. I like my 1 and 2 Wolverines. I think there's a lot of meat on that bone for Woody High, and I think that they're hungry. So give me Woody High, give me Cam Walter and Scoop Smith. And Coach Brian Tarrant had a hilarious interview at halftime against the Central Catholic Vikings this week. They kind of got hosed on a couple calls, I will say. And Central was the better team, definitely won, but Brian Tarrant, they interviewed him at halftime. He said, well, if we could get a call, I mean, we had the worst hold in the world not called. And it was freaking classic, but give me Woody High.
I'm going Penn Trafford. I like what they did against Moon. I think John Warren's got something clicking over there for the Warriors. Something about those
Cardiac Warriors.
Yakamelis.
Who's on the island here, Brad?
Oh, boy. Yeah, like we said, PT, 3 wins by 12 points. It'd be hard, man. It'd be tough to see Woodland Hills go 1 and 3. How healthy are they? Playing Central and NA 2 of the first 3 games. I wonder what health is there for them right there. But I like Woody High to bounce back here, so I'm gonna put Matt on the
Have
island.
fun in Antarctica.
You see how it went last week.
Dress warm.
All right, Elizabeth Forward is at South Fayette. Lions drop a game there to Cannon Mac last week. John DeMarco, not to be confused with the John DeMarco at PPG Pants Arena, has his Warriors firing on all cylinders so far this year.
Yeah, nice. Rare matchup between 5A and 3A schools.
I hate
here.
these.
Yeah, that's a weird one, South Fayette, but they met last year too. Nice quarterback matchup too. Ryan Messina against Drew Welhorski, both dual threat guys there. I'm interested to see. I haven't seen much. I've heard good things about Anthony Charles, the Minnesota commit on South Fayette's defense. He has 2 sacks already. EF, by the way, they've been making plays defensively, 4 defensive touchdowns in their win last week. So they got some playmakers on the defensive side of the ball. But I like Horsky. I'd like the 5A team to keep it going here. Give me the South Fayette Lions at home.
Yeah, I like South Fayette to bounce back. I think, and by the way, you said I hate these 5A versus 3A. If it was back in 4A classification, these 2 teams would be in 3A together.
Really?
Probably.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So
Maybe.
it just right, it would be borderline, but it would be close.
Yeah.
I mean, they were at one point. It was like EFTJ, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Somehow South Fayette jumped TJ a whole classification.
Well,
They were
that
2A for a while.
McDonald is
Yeah, they
booming.
keep growing.
right
They
there.
keep growing.
Yeah, there's not. They're losing farms quickly out there.
Speaking of mergers, that Fort Cherry South Fayette merger would be pretty cool.
Wow, that would be something. That
Well,
would
who'd
be
you take?
something.
You took South Fayette.
I'm taking South Fayette. Thank you.
We're gonna clean sweep this. I love Ryan Messina, but I've of the South Fayette 5 offensive line starters, I have 4 of them on my WPIAL top prospect list. They're gonna be too big and strong. That's what happens when a 5A goes against a 3. Give me the Lions.
Aliquippa goes on the road, dropped that game to Avonworth. They go to Mars, getting the rocket ship, Mike Warfield. They pack it all up, and they're off to Mars. Do they come back to Earth with a victory?
That was a good lead up.
Thanks.
I would hate to be the team playing against Aliquippa after they lost. So give me the Quips. Mike Warfield. I'm not I can imagine what those practices are going to be like. Give me the Quips.
Well, I typically go by don't pick against Aliquippa, but that didn't work out for me well last week. So it puts everything I believe in kind of at odds here. So I had a hard time. I'm going to go with Mars.
Wow.
Give me the Planets at home there. Probably another close one. They've kind of been the cardiac kids there too. Aiden Yoakum, he needs a touchdown. He's run for 392 yards, but I do not believe he has a touchdown yet. So maybe he gets 1 or 2 in this game. I think Mars, they win a nail biter and get a huge win there for Kasparovich.
Yeah, Yoakum, a converted linebacker to running back. He was more of a defensive guy last year, obviously, with Kasparovich as the tailback for the Planets. Has done a nice job, but does cough the pill up a little bit.
Oh, really?
They were coughing the pill up a little bit where those Planets, they had 4 turnovers against Bethel Park. They had 3 again against North Hills.
Better not do that against the Quips.
They better not do it against the
Quips here.
Quips. Oh, man, this one is so
It is
difficult because I liked a lot of things Mars did. Here's my first thought is Mars beat Bethel Park.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think Bethel Park would be at Aliquippa?
Yeah. You should go Mars.
You want to be on the island here.
If you're going to give me Aliquippa on an island, my God, I take that every time.
All right.
That's not a bad deal, actually.
You know what? I was right last week. I'm not going to go against them twice. Give me Aliquippa.
Okay. So
So
I'm
on the island, Brad.
Brad's on the
All right,
island.
well, I don't feel good about
He
being
got
on the island.
unblocked. And
He got unblocked
No,
and was
he's-
riding high.
Yeah, turnover city over there. It's like a bakery over there.
Turnovers.
Oh, yeah. The ghost of Deuce Krasinski.
Yeah, he lives on. Thomas Jefferson at Avonworth, another tough one to pick. Jags stay undefeated after surviving McKeesport. Avonworth looked really good last week against Aliquippa. Brad?
My question here is how many MIA players will there be? Because I have a feeling there's going to be some kids sitting out on both teams. TJ was pretty banged up after the McKeesport game. Avonworth played Aliquippa. I mean, just based on history, they would have to have some guys banged up because you just played Aliquippa. So, and with this being, they're not even the same classification. So, each team wants to win this game, but they both know there's bigger fishes to fry down the road. So I can see some key guys sitting out. TJ won this game 44-7 last year, so it's hard for me to go against TJ, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to go with Avonworth. They're going to be feeling good about that Aliquippa win, and they're going to ride that high, and they're going to get another big one this week.
Avonworth has a chance to do for the first time
How about
what
that?
no one has done.
How about
You
What?
beat Aliquippa and beat Thomas Jefferson
Yeah,
instead of
that'd
given
be
weeks.
nuts.
that would be. You're right. You're right.
Like,
talk about
that is-
that's amazing.
That's top
Here.
That's a top WPIAL headline for
Yeah.
the decade.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree. Yeah, that's a great point.
I don't think it's going to happen. Give me Thomas Jefferson.
Okay.
It's so hard because
It
they
is.
The
You-
37-point difference, I can't get
That's-
over it.
That's
from
what
last
that's what I
year.
have a hard time. Right,
and Avonworth, you proved me right. I knew you guys were going to go into the pit and hit him in the mouth. But oh man, this game is just. I almost feel like what Brad said is pushing me to TJ because I think Avonworth and Duke Joncourt are going to play this game differently because at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything
it's
in terms of
non-con.
where these
Yeah.
teams are going. You got to keep Carson Bellinger healthy. You
Right.
got to keep these guys, Dimitri Velaceris. You got to keep these guys, Luke Neal. You
Mhm.
got to keep these guys healthy. And because of that, give me TJ.
and also, and I mean this goes against who I pick and goes with who you picked here. Next week, Avonworth. The following week, they get Hopewell.
Right.
So
Yeah.
It all
you don't want to get
for all the marbles, all what could be for a conference championship or at least contending for
realm,
one.
right.
Yeah, North Catholic, Hopewell, and Avonworth are probably going to be the teams at the top of the list.
It's probably not wise, but I'm going to stick with Avonworth.
I'm going, man, this is tough. The thing with me is last year TJ had, White at receiver. They had Costco at quarterback. Those guys aren't coming out the tunnel this
Yeah.
week, Give me the Lopes. I love the Lopes offensive line. And this Carson Bellinger, he showed a lot to me. And I think he's going to be the difference. TJ, not having a true guy at quarterback right now, I think that's the difference. So give me Avonworth. But, man, 37-point differential. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's really going to be how are they going to do stopping? Can they
Tyler
stop
Eber.
Tyler Eber?
Yeah.
If they can stop Tyler Eber, then they have a
It looks
great
good.
chance of winning that game. And that 44-7 game last year. Remember, Avonworth was coming off they were coming off a loss against Aliquippa.
They were
Right.
super
so they
injured
were really
after
banged up in
Aliquippa.
They
that
were
game last
very
year,
banged
so,
up in that
yeah.
game last year.
Okay, I feel a lot better now. Yeah, give me Avonworth. I forgot about that.
North Catholic is at Quaker Valley. Can the Trojans stay undefeated at out in Leedsdale there? Why can't I think of the name of the stadium?
I was just looking at it the other day. It was
The coach, NFL. Oh my gosh.
Chuck Knox. Chuck
Thank
Knox
you.
Stadium. Yes.
Chuck Knox
Everybody knows
Stadium.
that.
Yes.
I could have given you an hour to come up with
I
the
would
next
have
stadium.
never got that.
All right.
This is from the
you
same
go
guy.
first.
This is from the same guy that says MacGuffins.
Right.
The
McGuffey
McGuffins. Everybody knows them. Give me North Catholic. This high potent offense isn't slowing down versus QV.
I'm going to go North Catholic as well.
Trojans across the board.
Ooh, there we go.
South Park at Steel Valley is up next. Eagles and Ironman did this game on television, and boy,
It was a barn burner.
It was a track meet. It was unbelievable. We didn't see a point scored until 37 seconds left to go in the game.
You were off air at 8:40, I think.
Oh, well, yeah, I had to cover an
It was-
hour into
yeah.
the 10 o'clock news, or they put Friends on, one of the two.
It was
happened.
the opposite of North Catholic Blackhawk. It was the opposite of that.
It
yes.
was something. Ironically, think it's going to be pretty low scoring. I don't know what the odds makers are putting this game at in terms of how many points are going to be scored.
13.5 is the over-under.
Brad, what do you make of this?
I make out of it South Park's the Road Warriors. 3 wins so far, all on the road. And they get a 4th one now. And then after that, it's almost all home games the rest of the way. So I think they'll be feeling good about themselves if they improve to 4-0 here, which I think they will. I think South Park gets the win. Robert Lenzi. And guys, feel free to pick Still Valley. South Park has told me I'm welcome on the island anytime. So
I want to join you on that island, Brad. South Park, I'll tell you what, they're impressing me. I talking. This could have been coaching speak when I was talking to Coach Abby Priest. He's like, "Oh, it's the rebuild." It might have been like Bill Chirpek's rebuilds every year. Oh, we're rebuilding. Give me South Park. South Park's a legitimate contender. I need to start giving them more props.
Seeing what Steel Valley didn't do against Bishop Canavan made this pick a little bit easier for me.
Agreed.
South Park, I'm going to take the Eagles. You know what? Awesome story to lose what they lost on a defending
Yeah.
championship team
I mean,
and be
Mhm.
what they already have showed.
Yep.
I mean, they beat Deer Lakes and weren't able to do that last year.
Yeah.
That was their only loss of the season a year ago. Clarendon is at Greensburg Central Catholic. Traditional rivalry game over there. Bears and Centurions. We will go. I'm going to go Clarendon. What am I talking about? I don't need to think. I don't even need to hear what they think. Clarendon.
You're not worried about it.
No. Clarendon.
This one's interesting here because, Greensburg Central Catholic lost to Shadyside Academy by 2
Yeah,
points.
they did.
Clarendon only beat Shadyside Academy by 2 points, technically.
That's right. That's a great call.
Give me the Bears. Give me the Bears.
Yeah, I'll take the Bears as well.
Slid it in again.
That's a great point.
Laurel, the Spartans are at Bishop Canevin
Oh, yeah.
at Dormont Stadium
That's a
in
nice
Dormont.
game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great place to watch a game.
Fast
It
track
is.
there.
Get there early because parking's tough.
Yeah.
Carlo,
Give me my Spartans. I can't call them a title contender, then go away from them. Give me my Spartans. Spartans by 21.
I think you're going to be on an island here. Bishop Canevin. Give me
Wow,
the
really?
Crusaders.
Laurel can improve to 4-0. They started last year 0-4,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just going to start 3-1. I got
I
Canevin.
love this island.
I got Canevin. I got the Fighting Rod Steels pulling out the win.
Hey, quick question. How's Brody Wagner playing?
I saw some highlights. Well, I saw some highlights. I think that was one of the ones you had on the highlight show.
yeah.
I think. Yeah. I mean, he looked okay from the highlights. He looked
But
pretty
what
good from
didn't
what I
they
was saying.
deem him ineligible and they just went
Oh.
to court or something? And I guess he has to go to court every week or something. Have you seen this?
I've seen a few things. I mean, like he's eligible for the regular season, but not the postseason. Is that right with him?
I thought he was ineligible the whole thing.
Did they go to
Okay.
the state and get the state?
Oh,
overturned
maybe
it?
the state
Yeah.
overturned it because
Yeah,
I seen him playing. I was like, oh, Brody Wagner's playing. I mean, I'm glad he is. Trust me, I'm glad he is. But I just was thrown off guard a little bit. So shout out Bishop Canevin and Brody Wagner.
Yeah.
Shout out. Game of the week. Steelers High School Showcase game of the week. KDKA Plus, myself, Mike Logan returns in the booth with
nice.
me. We'll have Susie Cool down on the sidelines with Colin Johnov. I think that's enough. That's a few shout outs for him. We should.
We've hit our quota for the
Okay,
year.
good. It's a great play at Franklin Regional, by the way. Bethel Park is at West Mifflin. I should probably say the game, huh? Bethel Park is at West Mifflin. Blackhawks 2-1. Titans. Wow,
One and
I'm
two.
blanking. 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Yeah.
Little interclassification matchup. 3 versus 5 again.
Yeah.
Of course, Armid Hill is the feature back there for the
Is
Titans.
he playing?
Yes.
Yeah, he did play this past week, 152 yards and 4 touchdowns in a get right game.
Yeah, I'd say
against
he
Baldwin.
played. Holy
Yeah.
smokes. Oh, yeah, Baldwin. Okay, yeah. That's it?
That's it. He didn't run for 400.
Oh, man.
I was expecting more out of you,
Mm,
Mr. Hill.
They're going to start raging over there. I mean, lucky for you, it's not this studio is nowhere near.
Yeah, but
Baldwin
we
High
are
School.
hours away.
Far away from that. Jeez. Oh,
Give me
Matt,
the
by the way,
Blackhawks.
you're like, oh, if you mention my name and show them your media credential, they'll let you in for free, from what I hear. So, just a tip right there, pro tip.
Yeah, it's weird that they have your statue at the dog park. That's a weird place. It's a weird place to have it.
Brad Everett, noted dog lover. I got 2 of them at home. Shout out to Gus and Franny.
It's
you
about
guys
waist
watch-
high too, which is
It's
just
just very
strange.
It's
very-
weird. I'll take anything I can get. Really, it really doesn't matter what shape or size or anything like that. I'm down with it. But Bethel Park won this game last year, 62-14. That Bethel Park offense, a pretty great week 1, down week 2, now up again week 3. I think they'll be up again this week, though. I think the Blackhawks get it done.
I got some tweets and DMs saying that I really shouldn't be picking the game that I'm calling because it's
Yeah,
not
why do people say that?
huh?
Yeah.
What?
You're not on the air actively rooting for that team.
No,
Like,
if anything, I'm picking who I think's going to win, and if anyone knows me from announcing, I typically root for the thing that you're not expecting to happen on the broadcast. I'm rooting for good TV,
Yeah,
and
you're
good
rooting for a good
TV
game.
would be West Mifflin keeping this a football game, which I don't think that they will do. but I really like Mr. Hill. Was introduced to him 2 years ago when they played Abernworth, and he looked really good. I think BJ Pugh and what they're starting to put together, but it's going to take a little bit of time. I was a little bit suspect going into the season of what Phil Peckage was going to have. But boy, they got a quarterback, they got a running back.
He reloaded.
Yeah, I mean, the Mars game, I think, was a little bit of a blip on the radar. I think they're going to get right back to it. And for the first time in my broadcast career, I've been doing play-by-play since 2007. Never, ever have I had a head coach send me a roster and a 2-deep before I asked for it.
Wow.
Phil Peckage did
He's
that.
on top. He's on the ball with a lot of things.
On Monday morning at like 7:30, I get a couple text messages. I'm like, wow, he knows it's the TV game. Normally, I'm informing coaches like, hey, we're coming. No, he's ready.
If there were more WPIAL coaches like him, because he is fully bought it, you know, and he will do whatever for his team and for the players and for the program. And I'm not saying it's not like that around here, but if everybody was like that, we'd have a lot of great recruits.
There are some programs out there in the WPIAL that are kind of run like college programs, and that's kind of one of them out there too. Heck, I mean, there's some teams just trying to get a roster off them's a hard thing. Sometimes it's like, geez, almighty.
I got one. I'm going to leave the school out. I got one the other day that had numbers 1 through 100, and then it only filled in which jerseys they had. So like there'd just be blank spaces on. I'm like, what are you doing?
The Excel sheet.
Yeah.
What we're doing. The Excel.
I'm like, I don't need your jersey order form. I just the players that are here.
I don't need to know what size. Like what size shirt your quarterback wears.
Yeah. That was. But yeah, shout out to all the people that are doing the administrative work for those teams, and I shed a tear or two when I get a 2-deep.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the show. You'll be where?
The Bell Vernon game.
He was contemplating his future in his head at the time.
Bell Vernon.
You know that we might be taping this a little earlier than the week we normally do.
Bell Vernon, of course. They're playing McKeesport.
Are they?
Yeah. No come on spell here.
No. All right. I will be at West Mifflin, the home of Brad Everett, seeing the Blackhawks at Bethel Park.
And I believe I'm heading to Chuck Knox Stadium
to
see Quaker Valley play North Catholic. Yep.
All right. So have fun out in Leetsdale. Have fun out at the beach. Burn grass. And I'll have fun in the shadows of Kennywood Park.
Oh, yes.
May this week 3 around the WPIAL be a roller coaster for us all. For Carlos Zofko and Brad Everett, I'm Matt Fargo. Thanks for watching this edition of the WPIAL Insiders Show, presented by Edgar Snyder and Associates. Thanks to Home Team Collections and Blast Off Cleaning Equipment and all of our sponsors.
Greatest sponsors in the world.
We love you.
And as always, make sure you're keeping your receipts. Good night, everybody.